What's going on, everybody? Thank y'all so much for joining us for the #1 podcast that is filmed live here in the Chad's Media Studios. I don't think that is up for debate.
I think that's factual.
I think it is a fact. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome. I'm Tyler Lennon. That's Ryan Humphreys. It's Korey Hankins. We've got the producer lady, Chloe Copel, behind the camera. And the four of us go by the name of Down and Out.
Yeah, let's go.
So what's going on, guys?
Oh, man, excited. Great win by the Stars.
Yep, I feel like it's been a while.
Let's get right into it.
So 2 weeks.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Which I'm trying to think. So
we
2
didn't even
weeks
get
ago,
to talk about the Kraken series.
So 2 weeks ago, it would have been the end, because I was just about to go to the first round of the playoffs hockey, so we didn't get to talk about the Kraken series. Great series. I'm very surprised it went 7. I thought it had the makeup of being a Stars and 6 type deal.
Yep.
Tyler and I were big on social media saying it was always Stars and 6.
It was always.
We quickly changed it to it was always Stars and 7.
It was always Stars.
It was Stars, though.
It was always Stars.
Really fun series. And again, no better time to become a hockey fan than right now because your Dallas Stars are in the Western Conference Finals.
Absolutely.
I can personally attest to that there's never been a better time. Playoff hockey is just different. I know y'all told me that.
Well, you're perfect to ask because you watched a little bit of regular season stuff. Like you kind of were into it, whatever, but you've watched every playoff game now.
It's different.
And it's awesome. You love it.
When the camera's panned out and like everybody's waving their towels and then they do that slope, you just feel like, man, there's just a different like atmosphere going on right now. And it's just amazing. Rope is just a dog.
Yep.
If Robertson can ever find the back of the net, we'll be unstoppable. You know, it just kind of it's a good time to be a Stars fan. It really is.
Real quick before we go any further, because I think we are starting with Stars talk, which we already kind of have a little bit. If you're wondering what we're going to be talking about tonight, one, you could see it in the YouTube description, but obviously we're talking Stars. We'll talk a little bit about the NBA playoffs. We're going to go through the entire Dallas Cowboys schedule, give predictions.
Yep.
Also going to talk some Rangers, and of course it's PGA Championship this weekend.
Championship, the second major.
And we will do
Super
more
Bowl.
of the movie bracket.
Region 2 of our movie bracket. I believe that Hoosiers is the first one to the Final Four from last episode. If you missed that. I feel like the movie talk was actually a popular convo.
I
enjoyed
talk.
it.
Yeah,
I think tonight's is a good matchup.
At any point, if you would like to hop in and be a member of the show, you
please
can
call.
text your name and what you would like to say to the number 903-243-9567. Got that memorized now. And I want more callers this week.
That was good.
We actually didn't have callers for a couple
weeks.
We
had a ton of callers.
Then we had a ton
time.
of people want to be callers, and
it just
wasn't working. But it seems to be working tonight, so hopefully we'll have callers. But yeah, I thought that last series felt very much like the series against the Wild. You get down 2-1, and then you're like, nah, screw that. We're winning out from here.
Yeah, and I just think that Seattle played. I think they were the same as Minnesota, but in different ways. Like Minnesota, their big deal was they played aggressive. They were very physical, and I think that took some adjusting for the Stars. I think Seattle, man, they were fast. Like they from all directions, just defensively, offensively, bing, bang, boom. They would start games quickly. They would get in power plays quickly, and I think the Stars had to adjust to that. They finally figured it out. Game 7, I don't know. I know it was 2-1, but I felt like the Stars controlled that game from start to finish. Seattle's goalie put on a clinic, and that game could have easily been 6-1 for the amount of opportunities that Dallas had. But man, I'm looking forward to Vegas.
Yeah, to your point, something about the way the Wild played, I'd kept making the comment that even when we were winning, it never felt like we were in control of that. I didn't feel that way against Seattle. And especially like you're saying, that Game 7, which was one of the most electric things I've ever seen in my life. And I do want to say I saw a lot of people complaining on Twitter, and maybe I'm biased because like you and I just really, really got into it just a few years ago. And it was kind of during a playoff run. But this idea of like, oh, well, there, a lot of y'all are tweeting about the Stars out of nowhere. Like, I love it.
It's hockey. It's not. Yes, if someone is really all big and bad about, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl this year, you don't watch football. Well, that's because America. Yeah. It's a football thing. Hockey is the 4th biggest sport here, and so I'm pleading. I want people to be a fan of the Stars right now. Let's get as many
Think about all those
Stars
times.
playoff fans as we can have.
Think about all those times you're like live tweeting a Stars game during the regular season. You get 0 likes.
And who
you
cares?
get 1 like. And
now it's like,
I'm scrolling every tweet I do. I mean, it's doing numbers every time I'm looking at the timeline.
The bandwagon thing doesn't bother me at all in this case. I mean,
did when I was. I do get a lot of Facebook memories. The 2010, 2011 Ranger runs. I was like, oh, a lot of y'all tweet about the Rangers out of nowhere, but
type deal. But again, I don't think that even baseball is on the fandom level that American football is. I think that American football has a cult following, and if you're not on that already, maybe don't jump on.
Well, I think most everybody has like a football team that you like,
college or pro.
Exactly.
Like a lot of people are either huge college fans or huge pro fans.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And you have your team, but with hockey, you know how many people are like, dude, I'm big with the Stars, or man, I love the Wild, or I love the Devil. You know what I mean? Not everybody really has a hockey team, but I'm fully on right now with the bandwagon because, dude, it's a great sport.
It's fun,
It's
man.
amazing. It's fun. It's fast. It's fast-paced. It's kind of hard to keep up with the puck.
The games are fast. You watch for 20 minutes. It goes to intermission. You get up, get a snack. Everyone sits back down. You don't blink for another 20.
Yeah.
Then you get up and get another snack, and then you do it the third time, and
you
that's
might
it.
see a fight.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like,
fun.
What more could you want?
It's fun.
And it's so intense. And, dude, like, for me, the excitement in soccer when somebody scores a goal is just like, it's amazing.
Y'all remember the segment where Korey said that if what did he say? If your soccer isn't on ice, then we don't want it.
Yeah.
If your soccer don't want it.
If your soccer don't have less people and isn't played on ice, we don't want it. But no, like the excitement of when somebody finally scores a goal in soccer, it's the same in hockey, but there's so much more action in between scores.
I will say it's funny you were talking, or you had made the comment that like sometimes you can't see where the puck is. There's a lot of times where there's a shot, and if you don't see it, you look at the fans, and the fans all jump up, and you're like, oh, we scored. I had the opposite reaction on Wyatt Johnston's goal the other night. I'm sitting here in the Chaz Media Studios by myself watching the game, and I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm like, oh, it went in. I was like, I couldn't see it at first, but
hockey fans have to pay for like 4K to know where the puck is. You know what I mean? Like that's one sport where you're like,
well, there was one moment where Otter didn't know where the puck was.
Yeah, that scared the living fire out of me.
Well, another thing to throw in about the Stars is, you know, if you're hopping on the bandwagon, this isn't a situation where, okay, the Stars made it to the Western Conference Finals. They're not supposed to be there. I think that the Stars can and will win the Stanley Cup. I really do. And the reason I say that, of course, I'm being a mega homer here. I'm not going to sit here and deny that. But I do know this. I know that the Stars' best players are young talent. I know that the Stars have incredible veteran leadership in Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, and Joe Pavelski. I know that the Stars have the best remaining goalie in the 4 remaining teams. And to me, if that's not the genetic makeup to raise Lord Stanley, I don't know what else you have to have.
Not only that,
really don't.
Not only that, I think all of that's perfect, and I also think their style of play and the specific group of guys that they have, because like you're saying, not only with the mix of veterans and younger guys, but I think you have obviously people that could score. You have great defensemen who can also score. Like you said, you have the best remaining goalie. And there are times where their style of play can get exhausting as a fan.
But I think in a 7-game series, I think it's the workings of a team that can last 7 games.
I think so too. Also, the number 1 team in faceoffs. One of, if not the number 1 team in power play and penalty kill. Like those are, if you were to ask me, not that I'm an expert or anything, but if you were to ask me, like, what are a few things a team would need?
What are some next-gen stats that, other than goals scored and
goals
allowed, what are some stats that puts teams over the tops? I would say all those are at the top.
100%.
Sorry, go ahead. Well, and having the ability to be a league leader in penalty kills wasn't more necessary than in the series with the Kraken. I mean, the first game, it felt like the whole game was played on a power play.
Yeah.
And also the coach Peter DeBoer, like he's been there before. He's
This
led a
guy-
team.
This guy
He's
over
led
here-
a team in
this
the.
guy over here is saying
he's
the
led a-
coach's name.
He's led a team in his first year as the head coach to the Stanley Cup Finals. So
Again,
he's been there before.
No Boston, no Edmonton, no Colorado.
Yeah, thank you, Florida.
No Canadian teams. I think that the Vegas is just another bump in the road that Dallas. I'll say Dallas in 6 right now.
I will also
I'll
say
say Dallas in 6.
And speaking of Vegas, your own hometown isn't even rooting for you. Vegas has the Stars to win the series. So, like, even your hometown isn't even rooting for you.
I do want to say, looking at this series. Oh, by the way, with the penalty kill, do you remember early in it was the first period of Game 7? We have a power play, bunch of shots. We didn't score on it, but then we get on the penalty kill, and it was just 2 minutes of go get the puck.
Yeah,
it was beautiful. I do want to say
that's what they did last night against or not last night. Sorry, when they played the Kraken, they just they got to stop, send it down.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, go get it. Waste 30, 45 seconds. Go find it. And then have to come back and face this defense again.
Yep. So I do have someone who knows way more about hockey than me kind of break down what we're going to see from Vegas. That is, if you are on Twitter, go follow her. She's amazing, at Dallas Stars Tay. She also hosts the Two Girls, One Stanley Cup podcast, which is very good. Go listen to that. But she is she's an expert as far as I'm concerned. And what she said was it's a much better matchup than what we've had so far throughout the playoffs. They play a similar style, weaker goalies. Will be easier to play against than Seattle was. They're not as quick, but they're pretty physical. These all sound like amazing things to me. You said Stars in 6. I'm right there with you. I think Stars in 6. But I also think if it goes to 7, that would be on the road. But I genuinely think the Stars not only win the West, I think we win the Stanley Cup. I really do.
So I've been in Vegas during hockey season before, and I will say that the Vegas Golden Knight fans, the fandom there, is large. It is a massive deal in Vegas.
It's their one. Well, now the Raiders.
But okay. So at the time, it was the only professional sports team, and it was a big deal. Like, it felt like, holy cow, this is the Dallas Cowboys of Las Vegas.
Well, didn't they go to like the Stanley Cup in one of their first
season?
Yeah, their first
as a
season.
franchise.
So like, there's no better way to start.
I want to throw out before we get off of hockey talk. I don't necessarily know the specifications around the rules for an expansion team. But if you've got Vegas, who gets to the Stanley Cup in their very first year as a franchise, and you've got Seattle, who almost is 2 goals away from getting to the Western Conference Finals in their second year, maybe let's take a look. And because I feel like your dues as a new franchise is to suck for a decade. I mean, to
really
put
some sweat in.
Really suck.
So I looked it up the other day because I was having this same conversation with somebody. Because, again, in any other sport, for a decade, you're awful.
Oh, no.
Unless you were to have tremendous draft luck.
Unless you're the Spurs,
you're awful.
You suck.
We'll get to them. Screw that. But I did look it up, and it's very similar to what the rules for NBA would be, only there's more specifications. So each team in an expansion draft can keep I don't have the number of players here, but it's specific to at least 1 defenseman, 2 forwards, 1 goalie. So it's split up into – because, like, in the NBA, you get to protect 8 players. And so, of course, you're having to choose not only my 8 best, but younger guys that I think have potential. Whereas in the NHL, you do have to start getting specific with position. So, like, even this Stars team, I mean, if there were a new expansion draft, you would lose guys like Kiviranta
Well, who'd you lose?
or Fafka.
You lost Seattle's best defenseman was on the Stars Stanley Cup team.
Yeah.
The big guy, Alexiak.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a Dallas Star starter or contributor on the Stanley Cup team. And he got plucked from Seattle.
And I think more with the NHL, you will see pretty good journeymen, guys that are a little bit older, guys that maybe are at the end of a contract. You're not sure if you're going to be able to re-sign them. But, yeah, the fact that we've seen this happen twice in the last few years, a team immediately be good.
Not an expansion team, but it's actually coming out that a lot of people think that Arizona is going to become Houston, that they're going to move to Houston.
Really?
Wow. They didn't get the stadium approved, whatever that process was. It sounds like that Houston is maybe next in line to get that team.
I wouldn't hate that the only reason why I wouldn't hate that is I hate.
We'll curb stomp them in that too.
Well, I hate Houston and everything, and like I don't have a hockey team that I just hate the hell out of, so I think that would be fun.
Mine's Vegas.
Fairly. Speaking of
For
Vegas,
the next couple weeks.
now. Speaking of Vegas, they did not beat us in the regular season. We beat them 2-1, 3-2, and 4-0.
Last time we played them in the playoffs, it was Western Conference Finals in the 2020 season. Beat them 4-1. So.
Yeah,
we have their number. That's all I'm hearing.
That's what I like.
That's all I'm hearing. I might mess around and make an appearance at American Airlines next week. I don't know. We'll see.
You've brought us luck once already, right?
Yeah.
I'm 1-0
in the playoffs.
In playoffs. So I think I don't know. I might splurge.
We need to start a GoFundMe.
We need to start a GoFundMe.
Send Ryan. Send Ryan and the Stars.
Yeah. No. Send down and out.
Send down and out.
There you go. I've never been.
Send down and out.
I would lose my mind.
Let's get tickets. Let's do a GoFundMe so we can get tickets for Korey to go to the Stanley.
We need to do that.
Korey would just be like, He'd just have his jersey. He'd just be all happy.
Take
You and
pictures
I-
of me like a little kid.
You and I are undefeated this season. I did not. I only went to one in the regular season, but they won that game. I think like 5-3. We're Down and Out is undefeated.
Maybe we need to take a field trip.
We might
Hey,
need to.
I'm down for it.
Y'all have any more thoughts? Korey knows the coach's name. He's bringing stats.
Yeah,
I love that Korey has bought in.
And I know, like, we joke about this, but in the series with the Wild, I think not having Pavelski really hurt us.
Oh,
And
the veteran leadership.
Dude, and him
Huge.
coming back against the Kraken and just scoring a
eight
ridiculous
goals.
ton.
8 goals. Yeah.
And like I said, if Robo can just find the back of the net, he had 45 shots on goal with 0 goals.
Yep.
That's just an absurd amount to be, just.
But Tyler was saying before the show that could be used as a positive because
Yeah.
we've gotten this far without our best player contributing.
And
He's gonna contribute.
and that's the thing. If he could just see one go through.
Oh yeah.
That it's kind of
100%.
I just got to see one go through. The confidence gets back. He starts getting back into form. It'd be nice.
Now, I will say he kind of did start the postseason almost. He just wasn't being near aggressive enough. It looked like maybe the moment was too big for him. He has started to get a bit more aggressive, and I do like to see that.
Yeah.
I kind of have a theory that it's either going to be more of the same. He's going to be kind of invisible, and you're going to have to continue to win without what was your best player the regular season, or he is going to catch fire, and we're going to see a
I'll
2 or
take the
3
latter.
point. I hope so.
I'll take the latter.
I
Boys,
hope
I think
so.
it's Cowboys. I think it's Dallas Cowboys 2023 schedule time. We
Okay,
had their
I think so.
NFL release last week. I
Real
will
quick
say,
before I have one thing I have to say.
okay.
I wanted to have the drop. That's my fault that we don't have it. But like a wise, drunk man, I think he was drunk, outside of the AAC said the other night, you're not going to like this. But it is now my new motto for life. It already was, but this man found a way to articulate it better than I ever could, and I get paid to write and to talk into a microphone. But we don't need the Cowboys. We've got the stars, baby. But now let's dive into some Cowboys talk.
Whatever.
also Rope
We've got
is
both
a dog
now.
too. I just wanna put
Rope
that
is
in.
a dog.
So I want to say that the new fad to put out a very extravagant schedule release reveal video. That's fun because I believe
like
I
it.
spent about 6 hours watching all 32 teams release. Some sucked, some were incredible.
We know what the number one was, but I want to hear you.
My favorite one. So I really liked. I thought Jacksonville's was funny. They did the script.
Yeah.
I thought that Denver's was funny. They did a play on The Office and it was Peyton Manning. And I thought that I actually thought that the Chargers was pretty cool with
The Chargers
the
seems
anime.
to be
It was
the
pretty
favorite
cool.
on Twitter.
And
Yeah.
the thing is, like that takes a ridiculous amount of work
Yeah.
to do that.
Well, go back and watch it
Because
and
that's the second
there's
year in a
lot
row
of
they've done
subtle,
that. Yeah, the Pat McAfee show callback with
Yeah.
the guy that's for the Chiefs, that's Robin Banks and
Yeah,
stuff.
you had they did a like 1-800 gambling problem for the Detroit. They're playing
Oh,
Detroit.
yes.
That's pretty messed up.
That,
but
it's just cool stuff like
yeah,
that.
no, it's pretty funny.
The Titans one was cool. I thought that was funny.
The Titans one on Twitter was
dude,
really funny.
The Titans one was so funny. They were like, oh yeah, that's the Cowboys. Yeah, that's
The Red
Cowboys.
Stallions.
The
yeah,
Colts.
it was
Yeah.
the Colts.
The
The Red Stallions.
Stallions.
And then the Falcons changed their name to the Red Stallions on Twitter.
Yeah.
A lot
that's
of the
funny.
teams did the Colts changed theirs to not the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Not the Cowboys.
Yeah, a lot of teams did.
I
that.
like that because one of two things. I love the Chargers one because I like the variety of you have this super well done, super produced anime style, video, and then you have just somebody on the streets with a tiny mic and a phone. You know what I mean? Like I liked stuff like that, and so I had a blast. I think it's a cool thing. I think it more of that kind of thing needs to be done, and I think in the front office of NFL they're starting to tap into those social media
and
type people.
The NFL just does such a flawless job of basically, and God, I can't believe I'm going to say these words, but the script basically that they write, that the natural movie like setting in some of these scheduling choices are just awesome. I mean, how fun is it that the opening night of the season we're getting the Super Bowl champs, obviously that's how they do it, versus the Detroit Lions. I mean, that's fun, dude. That's going to be fun. That's the biggest game. It's probably the biggest regular season game that Detroit has played in 20 years.
Well, it's
30 years.
It's such a testament to how much Detroit has grown as a football team. Because used to it's like, all right, we got Thanksgiving.
We get Thanksgiving,
and that's
it.
But like it's now.
Dan Campbell came out and said, "Well, I guess that means that Vegas is betting that we won't get our teeth kicked in."
I love him as a coach, man. He's hilarious.
So the way that we're going to do this, we are going through the Cowboys schedule all 17 games, and I think we're all going to give a prediction for each game.
Yeah,
and we're going to
that's cool.
see what all of our records would be at the
you
end.
want to keep up with the records?
Yes,
Okay,
I have them
cool.
written down,
All right.
and then we'll go through just to make sure. In week 1, they play blank, and make sure we're saying where it's at, all of that. In the most surprising turn of events of all time,
The Cowboys will play the New York Giants week 1
on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
What a shocker! Yeah,
Shocker.
There's very few things in life that are certainties,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. Cowboys in the
But
New York market
know,
week 1 is a for
I do
certain.
know it'll be Sunday Night Football against the Giants, and it is at the Giants.
Yeah, naturally.
that's
That's a win, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they're coming out hot. I think that the Giants are going to suffer from a really high season last year. They get in the playoffs. You've got who I thought should have been the coach of the year, or maybe he was Daboll the coach of the year, or it was Sirianni.
yeah.
It
Daboll
was Sirianni.
should have been the coach of the year.
I had Daboll.
Dayball.
I think
as
they missed
my
the
vote.
playoffs this year. I don't think Daniel Jones is the answer, and I think they're surprisingly bad this year. So give me the Cowboys in this one.
I'll give the Cowboys. I think the Giants are due for some regression.
Yeah.
I
don't-
think they very much overperformed last year.
Yeah, I guess I seem to be in the minority here. I actually think, I mean, we'll see what the record ends up being, but I would think the Cowboys won. I think Philly probably regresses this year. I don't think much of Washington. I do have the Giants as if there's a wild card team from this division.
Again,
It
that
very well
doesn't
might
mean
be
much
then, but,
because
yeah.
the NFC is trash.
Yeah.
So maybe they sneak in, but I don't think they're very good.
I'm with y'all. We all have them going 1-0.
Want to know?
Ryan, do you want to
What
do
a
the
start.
honors?
No, week 2, we've got a home game, which, I mean, the NFL script writers. Somehow Aaron Rodgers is
We can't
going,
ex-
cannot we
Oh.
can't
We
get
can't
away
escape
from him.
him.
We cannot get away from the devil. But New York Jets are coming to Texas. Week 2, New York Jets at the Dallas Cowboys. Listen, I think that the Jets are going to have some good moments this year. I think that there's a really very possible chance that this is this year's Denver Broncos, where we're going to
Interesting.
give them a lot of primetime games. They don't deliver. And by the end of the year, we're like, my
They're gonna be
God,
flexing
I
them out.
don't want to watch Aaron Rodgers on Sunday night anymore. I think they'll be fine.
So I did not know this until this moment. It's only the first 4 games of the year, but DraftKings has provided spreads for the first 4 games of the year.
Wow.
God.
Now the Cowboys
DraftKings
are
are-
Some freaking degenerates.
Yeah.
Cowboys are a 2.5-point favorite against the Giants in Week 1, which we all had them winning.
tell you
2-point
Which
favorite.
I will say, in the NFL, if you follow gambling any, you can really give the home team
Uh-huh.
an extra 3.
So-
and so if Cowboys are 2.5-point favorites, they're really more like a 5.5-point favorite.
Right, which that sounds fair.
That's a general line.
In this one, like you said, we are home against the Jets, but yeah, it's a 2-point favorite in this one.
Oh, I'd slam that, dude. I think the Cowboys. I think
You
the
put-
Cowboys start out with a resounding 2-0.
Nice.
I will say I've seen a lot of people. I'm not near this high on them, but I've seen a lot of people talking about like the Jets. One, their division. I mean, you've still got the Bills, obviously, but it's like you very well could be the second
I
team.
talked a lot of shit about the Bills early in this show because we had nothing else to talk about. But the Bills are a lock to win
Yeah,
that division.
100%.
Yeah.
Josh Allen he's going to win an MVP one of these days, and I am really not all that concerned about the Jets.
I do think offensively though, there's weapons there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you
whatever.
have?
I think I'm kind of torn on this one because Aaron Rodgers seems to just be the Cowboys' kryptonite.
Cowboys have never beat Aaron Rodgers.
and that's kind of what scares me.
Fact.
But also, I think with all the newness in the Jets, and we talked about this with Faircloth, or y'all talked about this with Faircloth in y'all's interview, the defense is very, very quick to adapt, whereas the offense is not so quick to adapt to changes and chemistry and
That's
all
a
those
good
things.
point.
So I think the Jets will be good. I think they'll be a good test. I don't think by week 2 in the season that they'll be firing on all cylinders. I think they'll be good. I don't think they'll be peaking at that time, and I think to beat the Cowboys, they'll have to be peaking.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think if this game were a few weeks later, or if it were on the road, maybe I have a different opinion. But I also have to give it a win here.
Cowboys
We're all
2-0.
starting 2-0. That brings us to week 3.
Going into Arizona.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
hit the road again.
Not much to talk about here, in my opinion. I do believe that Arizona will have the worst record in the NFL this year. I think that Kyler Murray, A, he's not going to play for most of the season. B, I think it's going to be a situation where he doesn't play this year because they're so bad.
Yeah,
and they just
it's
say,
like, why?
they just do a redshirt year. They get the number 1 pick. They also get Houston's pick next year. Why would we go all in on this season? I think the Cowboys win this one by no less than 21. I think they win by 3 scores. Whatever the line is, it's not enough. I mean, the Cardinals are going to be bad this year, guys.
Yeah, they're not going to
so
be good.
bad.
I want to remind people the number. If you do want to give us, I feel like this would be one that people would. You can give us your end of the year predictions or anything like that. But 903-243-9567, your name. And whatever you're thinking about the Cowboys here. And I know we're starting very heavy. The beginning of the schedule is not tough, but it gets pretty tough here in a second.
And I know I'm sounding like a total homer, but I feel very good that the Cowboys start out 3-0.
I do as well.
I feel good they start 4-0, honestly.
We can go to the next one. They've got New England at home. I have no faith in Mac Jones.
Noodle Arm Jones.
And again, I have no problem putting in all the chips that the Cowboys are 4-0 after October 1st comes around.
Yeah, to update the last 2, because we did the first 2, week 3 at Arizona, currently a 6.5-point favorite. And
not enough.
Fair. If that could have been 9.5, whatever.
Not
yeah.
enough.
And then week 4 at home against the Patriots, they're at 3.5.
Now, when
enough.
in this schedule do people start saying that it's our year? Is it after?
It's
the
already.
Jets?
We've been saying it.
Well, you've beaten 2 New York teams. You just beat the Cardinals by 28, and you beat the Patriots by 17. It's our year at this point.
Yeah, week 4, people are getting Lombardi's tatted on them.
It's our year. Okay,
oh, man.
It gets a lot tougher right here.
Now the chips change.
So now you hit the road again. This is another Sunday night game at San Francisco.
Now, this one is very contingent on who is the starting quarterback for San Francisco. If it's Sam Darnold, yes, the Cowboys are going to win this. I don't care what the Niners have on defense. If it's a solid Trey Lance, if it's a healthy Brock Purdy, just so I'm not having us 5-0, give me the Niners here on the road on Sunday Night Football. You know, obviously it'd be a rematch of the playoffs last year. That would be a disappointing loss if we do drop this one, but 4-1, I still feel really good.
Yeah, I think it all depends on the starting quarterback for the 49ers. I don't think the 49ers even know who's the starting
No, they don't.
quarterback.
No, they absolutely don't.
Because Trey Lance has injured something on his hand, and I think it was his finger or something like that, and he's having trouble gripping the ball, and so they don't even know if he's going to be available
I wouldn't
now.
think Brock Purdy plays this year.
No, I think
bet.
last I heard is like he might have to have Tommy John.
Yeah, which is like an 18-month injury.
Yeah, so, I mean, it sucks for the storyline, but, you know, it is what it is.
Don't be sleeping on Brandon Allen now. They just added Brandon Allen.
Ben DiNucci, starting quarterback for the Cardinals, for the
Speaking of
49ers. Yeah, he got signed to the
Broncos. Did you see what Sean Payton said about our sweet, sweet boy Ben DiNucci? Apparently, Ben DiNucci threw a pick in practice the other day, and Sean Payton said something to the effect of, "I think they're hiring at Walmart."
Oh.
Now I know as well as
y'all
anybody.
know my Ben DiNucci connection, right?
No.
Ben DiNucci.
James Madison?
James Madison.
Yeah.
Alum.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Ben DiNucci, sweet Ben DiNucci, starts yapping at the Sam Houston fans at halftime of the 2021 spring FCS semifinals. Starts yapping.
You're playing in this game.
I'm in it.
Okay.
Starts yapping at the fans on Twitter. I'm talking like quote tweeting like
going at him.
I bet I could find it, but he basically says, I've got to decide if I'm going to spend any time watching the second half or not. Get the bus ready. We'll see you boys next fall. Sam Houston obviously proceeds to do what they did, and Ben DiNucci deletes the tweet. It gets posted on Freezing Cold Takes. The rest is history. By the way, 2-year anniversary yesterday of the Sam Houston National Championship.
Congrats,
that was fun,
man.
Yes, that was fun.
Congrats.
But yeah, Ben DiNucci sucks. Not a fan. Not a fan.
I know as well as anybody that Ben DiNucci's awful.
No,
we're all well aware of that. But like, come on, you don't have to. Actually, now that you've told us that story, I'm perfectly.
Yeah,
cool
what a
with it.
doucher.
But do we all have the Cowboys losing?
Yes.
At San Fran.
Yes.
Okay, so now we all have them at 4-1 is our newest update. And things don't get much easier because now you're still on the road in Week 6. This is a Monday Night Football, so you go Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football.
It's the Cowboys, man, just prime time.
You are now at the Chargers.
At the Chargers, this is the Kellen Moore Bowl. I would think it's high scoring, but I am going to say that the Cowboys get back on their feet after a close loss on the road in San Fran, and I think they beat the Chargers this year. I think the Chargers are a playoff team. I think the Chargers are a team that can contend in the AFC West, but they will fall short to Patrick Mahomes. I'm trying to give some insights to other teams, not just the Cowboys, but give me the win here.
Yeah, I think so too. I think more than anything, this is a we'll show you kind of game, you know.
So I know we had this conversation a few weeks ago before the draft. I seem to be higher on the Chargers than anyone else of this show, and I think that's going to continue here. I know, like you're saying, the odds of the Cowboys losing each of these games, one, we don't know who the 49ers quarterback is going to be. Two, we don't know how the Kellen Moore-led Chargers are going to be. So in theory, they're probably not going to lose both of these, but just going game by game, giving a prediction on each of them, I do have a hard time thinking you're going to win at Los Angeles. If this were a home game against the Chargers, that would be different, but it's on the road, Monday Night Football. The Chargers still have a ton of weapons. I'm a big fan of Justin Herbert. I think this is Kellen Moore's opportunity to really show what he can do with a lot of weapons with a quarterback that he trusts, and I'll go the Chargers here.
Okay. All right.
So y'all are 5-1. I have them at 4-2.
So you got a bye week 7. That's a bye at a really great time after 2 tough games. Week 8, you've got the Rams at home. This one all depends on which Rams show up. I do think they will be better than they were last year, but I don't think they're going to be all that great. Don't think they have a chance of winning their division. Give me the Cowboys here.
I take that as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at it's so tough to, like you're saying, kind of predict what the Rams are going to be. Even just looking at their depth chart right now, I mean, you still do have Matt Stafford. I like Cam Akers a lot. You've still got Cooper Kupp. But even then, I mean, like Van Jefferson becomes your second weapon, or Tyler Higbee at tight end. I got to go with a win against the Rams, I feel like.
Week 9, we go to Philly. That's going to be – that's going to be awesome. That's going to be the clash of two Titans. I haven't looked at Philly's schedule in depth. I would think they're going to have a good record at this point.
I think they have one of the tougher schedules.
Toughest in the NFL.
Yeah.
But through 8 weeks, who knows what it looks like.
Yeah.
I'm going to go loss here, and I think that it will be – obviously, you don't ever want to lose. I'm not going to say that it's going to be a good thing that we lose. I think it's going to be one of those kick us into shape type deals. We're going to lose a close one on the road. To gear up for a really great second half of the season. So give me a loss here.
I'd take the loss as well. I don't think they're going into Philly and getting a win.
Yeah, unfortunately have to agree as well. Again, I think we do see some regression from Philly this year, but again, that's going to be super tough. They probably split this series, so you're on the road here.
Now, let me ask you this. You go into Philly and you do win this one.
It's big.
Oh, yeah.
It's
sure
our
feels
year,
like our
it's our
year.
year, right?
That's when people start saying it's our year.
It's like, damn, okay, it really might be our year.
Quick update. Ryan and Korey each have them at 6-2. I now have them at 5-3 going into week 10. You are back at home against the Giants for the second time, and I'll just make it short and easy.
Yeah,
they win this one.
They're winning this one. I don't see a scenario where the Cowboys – I don't see a scenario where – they aren't. I mean, at worst, they're 4-2 in the NFC East. I think it's more like 5-1.
They split with the Eagles and beat everybody else.
Split with the Eagles. I guess you could slip up, or maybe week 18 and it didn't matter. But they're not going any worse than 4-2 in the NFC East. It's just not happening. Regardless of what you say about the Cowboys head-to-head own the NFC East
and have for
a long time. Dak's record against the NFC East is outstanding. So they get the win there in week 10. Week 11, you go to Carolina. Bryce Young, that's cool. Not happening.
Hate it for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons
tough,
is going to
tough
just tear
Micah
you
Parsons
down.
day. That's a win, surely by all three of us.
Yeah, I don't think we even really.
Week
I will say I am excited to see Bryce Young. That'll be fun.
Yeah,
Week 12.
They may get him like a booster seat to see over the line,
Week 12, Washington at home.
This is a Thursday night football.
Not happening.
No, it's Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving,
Oh,
there you go.
no.
Not happening. Not happening. That's a win.
We'll see you later, Commanders.
That's a win.
If you're still called that by then.
The War Pigs.
Yeah, they may be something else.
Week 13, you've got Seattle at home. Long home stretch here.
Yeah. You got a 3-game homestand.
That's an actual Thursday night game, not Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Okay.
On Prime Video.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So what do we think
Amazon
about
Prime.
Seattle this year? What do we think about Geno Smith? Surely that regresses, right?
It has to. I love Geno Smith. I don't know what it is. I've been a big fan of his for his career.
It's a great story.
I loved the story. Even then, even if he doesn't regress, I mean,
the team as a whole, you know.
What do we think about the Seahawks more than anything?
I
mean,
think
DK
Ken Walker's
Metcalf
awesome.
and Tyler Lockett, your boy.
You got Jackson Smith and
Yeah.
Jigba. I think they got weapons, and I think they can make the playoffs.
And I'm the president of the Noah fan club for no reason. So
well,
small room, isn't it?
I saw a guy do
Just
his
me.
top 10 in the NFL quarterbacks right now, and he had Geno Smith at like 8, and Dak wasn't even on the list. Like, do we really have people out there that think Geno Smith is better than Dak?
yeah, even I don't think
That-
that.
that's-
Even on his best day.
Come on, man.
You know
Now
what
we're
I mean?
just hating. We're
Even
just
I
hating.
don't think
So.
that.
Give me the win there.
Yeah, so
What are
quick,
give me a record update,
quick
Tyler.
update. I guess you're going to win there as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So Korey and Ryan still on the exact same page, and y'all have actually picked this each. I mean, y'all don't. It's not that you have the same record. Y'all have picked
Right.
each game the same way. Y'all are
Right.
each 10-2. I'm 9-3.
And we're getting Lombardi's tatted
and
on us
now
at that
it's-
time.
At this point,
Now it's time for yet another Sunday night football game. This time at home against the Eagles.
So we go home game on Thanksgiving, home game on Prime Video, home game at Sunday night.
Yep.
Yeah, and so they kind of lucked out because normally with a Thursday night game on Prime, you get a short week of rest. They get the same exact time.
But it's the Cowboys, and they run the schedule.
Yeah, and they get a longer rest for their division
Yep.
opponent who just went to the Super Bowl.
Listen, dude, if we're actually 10-2 at this point, like me and Korey have predicted, a win against the Eagles at home, which I would say
Sunday
they're going to
night.
split this
Yeah.
year, whether that's home, whether that's away, whatever. Give me the win here. Cowboys get to 11-2, and things are starting to get frisky.
I think coming off 10 days of rest, they definitely get the win here.
Yeah, I agree. I kept thinking I'm going to be harder on the Cowboys than this, but I'm right there with y'all. Y'all have them at 11-2. I have them at 10-3. And if you are 10-3, now it does get tough. You had these 3 home games in a row. Now you're about to hit the road twice against 2 really good teams, or at least
Perfect.
one really good team.
You're going to go to Buffalo.
Uh-huh.
You're going to have – it's going to be an amped-up game. Both those teams are going to be 2-3 loss teams at that point. Cowboys are going to go on the road and lose this one, which is fine. I'm telling you that's not a bad thing in the NFL. Josh Allen's going to play a good one that week. I think that this – golly, at what point do the Bills need to go get the number 1 seed? I feel like that window's running out.
I do as well. I mean, you and I had that conversation pretty early last year, and it very much
Josh
came
Allen.
to light.
I
but
love Josh Allen.
yeah, I think
I am going to pick the Bills here, though.
I am as well.
Because
And
the
I think,
Cowboys need a loss on my schedule.
in my opinion, the Bills, and again, I know we're talking about they have to prove it at some point, and they do. But the Bills are still one of, in my opinion, 5 maybe teams that if whoever I'm predicting a schedule for, if I see at Buffalo, that's a win.
It's a win.
It's at Buffalo,
win.
it's at Kansas City. I'm biased, but at Cincinnati probably.
Yep. I'm with you.
Yeah, they're one of those teams that's a loss.
Korey at Buffalo?
Yeah, at Buffalo in December.
Yep. Oh, it's going
a
to be frigid.
I did
yeah.
not think about that. That is
Frigid.
December
December
17th.
17th. Yeah,
that's,
you're-
Frigid.
that's rough.
Yeah.
So
They're going to be huddled around the heaters, just like begging.
Christmas Eve at Miami. That'll
So
be a
you
lot
go
warmer.
You go from Buffalo
Be
to
a lot
Miami.
warmer.
All right, guys. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. I don't know exactly where we got cut off, but each Ryan and Korey, I believe, have the Dolphins as a win. I actually do have it as a loss. Again, if you've already heard my long-winded rant, I won't go on it again, but I'm bigger on the Dolphins than most people. Real quick, I just do want to go through this depth chart. Again, you said the offense is good. It is. You've got Tua, a running back room that's not amazing, but it's Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, and what is now Devin Achane. And then, again, for weapons, you've got Jalen Waddle, you've got Tyreek Hill, you got a decent offensive line. I'll have that one at Miami as a loss. So y'all have them as 11-3. I have the Cowboys now at 10-5. And you'll have to do the rest of the schedule because my
So
Wi-Fi is not working.
Week 17, we're gonna have Detroit at Dallas on Sunday night or on Saturday Night Football. Once again, prime time. Man, I think Dan Campbell and the Lions. I think that's a lot of fun. But I think at this point the Cowboys are really rolling, and I'm gonna give them the win here.
You're losing here, boys. I'm playing. I want to do a Dan Campbell impersonation, but I got to do more work here on that. I am going to say that the Lions, in the hunt for a playoff spot, get the win here.
Do it. I wanted to do the same thing. If you didn't, I was going to make sure at least one of us did, because that does feel a little far-fetched probably. But like Korey's saying, the Lions are probably, if I had to guess, going to be in first place in that division. Or it's going to be them and Minnesota are really fighting it out.
They're not going to have it clinched by then is what I'm thinking.
I kind of want to do the same thing, but I can't just because I already have them at 10-5. I can't make them 10-6. I don't
You can't
think.
be that guy.
So I will go loss, or I'm going to go win. Sorry. So Ryan, you would have them at what? 12-3 now.
Yeah.
You have them as 11-4.
Yep.
And then I have them.
Well, we only have one game left, and there's 17 games. So.
Okay, I was missing one. 13. You have them at 13-3.
Yeah.
Korey at 12-4. I have them at 11-5. So we finally are all on different pages.
There
So
we go.
at Washington, Week 18, I think that this is a game where if we've already got the division wrapped up, then totally could lose. But I'm going to pick a win here, and I'm going to put a caveat on that. That puts my final record at 14-3. My realistic, like not picking it game by game, real life schedule pick is 13-4.
You
I'm
think
going to
they
go
lose this one?
Yeah,
Or is it, you know what I mean?
I'm not picking them to lose against
Yeah.
Washington. I'm picking me to have been wrong once.
Okay.
And I'm going to go 13-4, Dallas Cowboys. They not only win the NFC East, but unless the Niners figure out their starting quarterback deal and unless somehow the Eagles finish better than 13-4, I think the Dallas Cowboys win the regular season title in the NFC.
There you go. You know, that's one more time than I thought you'd have given yourself credit for being wrong.
I mean,
I'm just messing
yeah.
with you. I'm just
Boy, don't
messing
miss.
with you. But no, I think I would say if they're in the hunt for something, they win. If there's nothing to win, they lose. You know what I mean? If they actually give a crap about this game, they'll win. If they don't, they'll just kind of blow it off.
So that has you having them finish at 13-4 as well.
Yeah.
I would go with a win as well. I having them at 12-5, and kind of to the point that you were saying, without going game by game and giving a prediction, I would have told you I think the Cowboys finish probably 11-6, maybe 12-5. So my end result of 12-5, I don't feel bad about. Again, I kind of wanted to side with the Lions on one of those.
Yeah.
But maybe you shouldn't have sided with the Dolphins, so it could go anywhere. But I would have said 11-6 or 12-5, and that's where I have them.
Now we do have a caller in Colton Smith who's
Let's go,
who's looking to be on the line.
Colton. I love you, man. Hop on in here.
Chloe, do you have the Google Voice? Is it still logged in over there? Okay. So we can go ahead and give him a ring.
Again, if you want to join the show, 903-243-9567. Text your name and what you want to say.
Cowboys over-under is 10 wins,
What's
by
up?
the way.
Hey,
Colton Smith, what's going on, man?
we got the show back on and we called you.
Hey, I noticed that. Yeah, I know. I was wondering what happened there for a second.
We were wondering too.
What you got for us,
All
man?
right. Listen, I think all of the picks are awesome. I hope that you guys are right. What I'm about to say is under the umbrella. I'm a huge, huge Dallas Cowboys fan. Have been my whole life. I cannot stand Aaron Rodgers, but I'm going to have to see it to believe it.
Yeah, that's
Hey.
understandable, man.
The Cowboys lose to the Jets. I just don't believe in my heart. I'm going to have to see it to believe it. I've accepted defeat. I've accepted that if we play Aaron Rodgers, it's an L.
Well, and Colton, to your point, I mean, I do think that Aaron Rodgers has had the Cowboys number, but I just don't think that offense is clicking in week 2. You know what I mean? But he beat us with the kind of beat us with a meh team last year.
I was going to say,
he only showed up for that team.
I firsthand experienced the Cowboys blow a 21-point lead to a very meh Packers team.
Yeah, he got off ayahuasca for that game. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he was ready to go.
Is Colton still on the line?
But listen,
Nope, there you
here's
go.
the deal. I hope y'all are right, and if they go 13-4, I will be ecstatic. I'll be right there with you. Give me a Lombardi tattoo.
Yeah, yeah.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Colton, before we
I
let
think
you go,
Legacy 13 will have a special on those if they go 13-3.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tyler.
All right,
Sorry.
appreciate you guys.
all I was gonna say is Colton, before we let you go, tell the people what you and I have to look forward to here in a few months.
Oh, listen. ACL, baby. Austin City. with it.
Ooh,
Oh, nice.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Very
ACL
nice.
surgery. That's awesome.
Weekend 2, solely for the 1975. Let's go.
We are going solely, mainly to see the 1975. But yeah, I can't
Nice.
wait. Thank you as always for calling in. Love you, buddy.
And the Foo Fighters. And Foo Fighters. Yeah, love you guys. Good job. Yeah.
Oh, I love that
was
sound.
nice.
That was nice.
cute.
Hell yeah. Do we have anyone else
He was
lined
the
up
one
at the
that
moment or
messaged
anything?
So far.
I really thought old Tebbs would have tried to, some of our
I'll tell
regulars.
you guys one thing: them Cowboys ain't gonna go 13-3. It's 17-0. Not
Is that
playing.
how Luke Tebbets
No,
talks?
it was country voice me.
No,
Ted
it's just that
slander,
Hankins
damn.
blood.
That's
that
that
Hankins
Hankins
blood in
blood,
him.
baby. Hankins blood.
I guess that's all of our
I think
Cowboy
that's enough
discussion, I would
NFL
think.
talk in
All right,
May.
now let's go through the Falcon. No, I do have Falcons picked as the NFC South winner.
I do as well,
I could
probably.
see
Yeah.
it. I mean, I need to.
Bijan's going to be a 1,000-yard rusher.
If he's not, then it was a bad pick.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think they need to just run him until he can't run anymore.
Someone
I mean-
responded on Twitter 0-17, so that's fun stuff.
Wow,
Okay.
that's nice.
Um,
Yeah, I
very
appreciate you
very
guys.
knowledgeable thing to say,
Yeah.
whoever
But
you are.
before we move on to things we
Put a lot of
want
thought into
to
that one,
talk
I
about
bet.
again, obviously we are deep into the NBA playoffs right now. We just
Hey,
saw
where's Chad? Is he
I
here to
wonder if he's huddled up in his bunker
I didn't
watching
know.
The Last Dance.
Chloe. You've
he-
got to speak on his behalf
he
now.
Can't. He's not allowed to return until LeBron's out. so-
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say on your father's behalf?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. No, there'll be no comment at this time.
No comment.
Okay.
I don't know if the Lakers.
What's your
can-
prediction on the Cowboys? What do you think?
They're going to have fun.
Yeah.
They'll do
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to have a lot of fun.
Just try to
That's about it.
just try to get you more involved.
Good.
Yeah, thanks,
Good.
Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get me involved in golf.
I
There we
oh,
go.
okay.
Well,
Hey,
we are
okay.
about to get there. We
Well,
got to run
I
through
talk
the
a little bit about that.
Okay.
we got to run
we'll
through
get
the
you there
NBA real
shortly.
quick. We just saw game 1 of the Lakers Nuggets last night, and I will say I think it was Nick Wright who brought up the point. And I like Nick Wright, if we're being honest. But
That is my LeBron go-to truther. Is Nick
he
Wright.
does love him some LeBron. He had made the comment that, and again, I don't know how much I fully agree with this, but he had said if there were ever a scenario in which a team who won shouldn't feel that great and the team who lost game 1 of the series should be feeling really good, it is this series, and that is understandable. The Nuggets were up by 21 points
And
going
it
into
was
that
a-
fourth
it was
quarter.
It was a one-possession game.
They barely pull it out.
Yeah.
I have a really hard time. I think this will be the first time I've ever said anything negative about Jokic on this pod, and I don't even think you can find me tweeting anything negative about him. But
Was it me and you, Korey, like real early that we were like, dude, we need to see it right now.
Yes.
We need
Yeah.
to see it
Yeah.
right now.
yeah, I made that he's the Josh Allen.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Okay, we have had more technical difficulties, but what we are going to do is record the remainder of this show, and then y'all will catch. I don't know why I'm explaining it to y'all. Y'all are watching at this point. Anyway, where did we got? We were going on the rant about the Nuggets. I will say this though, and I want to hear
Sorry,
your.
I'm tweeting out that we were
Okay.
having technical
yeah.
difficulties.
We'll get Ryan's opinion on this in just a second. But the only thing I will say is, again, the Lakers should feel really good about the way Game 1 went. You
Yeah.
could have gotten blown out, and
You were
you
at the half.
you were getting blown out going into the fourth, and you have this great game where you come back, almost win it. My only problem, I don't really see much of a roadmap, not for the Lakers to win this series. I don't see that much of a roadmap for the Lakers to win more than a game or two, because I think if you were going to, last night would have been, I mean, AD and LeBron played as well as they're going to play. And when looking from the Nuggets perspective, again, Jokic only shot once in the fourth quarter. It wasn't a particularly great game from Michael Porter Jr.
No.
I think what would have to happen is a really bad Jamal Murray night, and we're just
we've
really
seen
not
that.
seeing many of those anymore.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of those in the past where he's either going to go score 40 or he's going to have 16 but shoot the amount of times he would have if he had 40. But I think outside of bad Jamal Murray nights, which we're not seeing many of right now, I think the Nuggets probably win this in 5 or 6.
Well, I think that's what happened with the Suns series, is that when they went to Phoenix without Chris Paul, that you did see some nights where, you know, Jamal Murray did not have his best games. And that's why the Suns won those 2 games. But, man, I just think that the Nuggets have to run their entire operation through Jokic. He's the reason they're there. Without Jokic, that entire team does not they don't show up there. You know what I mean?
So I think that the Nuggets are the better team in this scenario. I think that this is a series that they can't afford to lose from a Jokic standpoint.
Yeah.
I don't think that he can lose this series, but I disagree with you, Tyler. I do see a roadmap that the Lakers can pull this off. I think that, you know, I think you could argue that there wasn't a roadmap for them to make it to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
They figured that out.
Yeah.
I think that I would, again, probably bite myself here because if the Lakers do win it, I'm going to be like, well, you know, LeBron, I told you so.
Yeah.
But I think that the Nuggets win this one, but I think it's in 7. I think that it's a grinded out, battled series. And I think what LeBron and Anthony Davis are doing right now is special. It's fun to watch. I'll say that. But I do think Jokic gets it done because if he doesn't, then his legacy probably takes a hit.
Yeah, again, for me, the only problem is outside of like a bad Jamal Murray night, you look at what the Lakers did last night, you got to combine 66 points, 22 rebounds, and 12 assists from AD and LeBron. Reeves gives you 23 on 50% shooting. You even get 17 points off the bench from Hachimura, he was 8 of 11 from the field.
Yeah, he was one of the only ones with he was the only ones with a plus, plus
when
minus.
they started putting
positive.
him on, so he was the one that started covering Jokic in the second half, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was a pretty big change, and I think it made a huge difference.
Yeah, I think, man, it's hard to go against LeBron, and it's almost caught between a rock and a hard place here. I don't see LeBron and them getting there, but also like Denver has not shown us anything that they can get past this hurdle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so it's kind of like one of these
true.
things has to give.
Yeah, I think that the easy thing to do is, hey, Denver's going to do this. They're the best team. They're the ones that should be there. Jokic is this, probably should have been 3-time MVP.
Yeah,
but boy, betting against LeBron and AD is a tough task.
That's fair. We'll move but pretty quick. I don't think anyone cares that much about the East. The one thing I
it's
will
just
say
like,
is I actually think there's very much a chance the 8 seed Heat could pull that one out
Has it
down
started?
2. Yeah, they're down 2
at the end of the first.
close to the end of the first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I think that's one that
In Boston.
the easy thing to do would be, hey, Boston's going to win this series because they should. I think that the Heat can get this to 6 or 7 games, but I am going to stick with Jason Tatum and the Celtics here. And I don't know, man. I feel like I want to stick with my Celtics-Lakers pick that I had the last episode.
Yeah, I think
be fun.
Hemi Butler can make it interesting. I just don't know if they get it done. So
That's fair enough.
That's where I'm at.
All right, now Chloe's time to shine. It's the PGA Championship this weekend.
PGA Championship,
Yeah.
the second major this season. I was actually in attendance last year. If you see my hat, Southern Hills. This year it's in
Big time.
Rochester. It looks like, from what I've seen, that the course is like dang near unplayable.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
around the green. I saw somebody drop a ball.
It's not.
It just disappeared.
It's not a PGA Championship or a major time until somebody's dropping a ball into the rough.
Oh man, it looks nasty, dude.
It's definitely going to come. I think, especially in majors, but especially in the PGA Championship and the U.S. Open and the Open and all those things. The Masters is an entity in and of itself. That iron play and making sure that you're accurate off the tee really comes into play. And let me figure out how to say this. Having the ability to create shots, like to wrap stuff around trees and make stuff happen with your irons, but also being accurate in those risk-reward situations.
Yeah.
Because it can get away from you. It can get squirrely.
Well, because
real
you
quick.
also, like, it's a tournament and conditions where a low, like, you don't have to score crazy to win it.
Yes.
But there's going to be some times where, hey, I need to go birdie here. And
Yeah.
and the guys that pull that off will win.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Like, Tyler, would you, while we're just talking about other stuff, will you pull up some lines like you had in the Masters?
Oh, yeah, I
where,
got 'em
like,
ready.
okay, perfect. Like with the winning, like what's the line for the winning score? Do you have that?
Oh crap! Sorry, I have all the I have the main.
Gotcha.
odds
But
right
but
now.
could you
Yeah,
look
let
up
me try to find those.
like what's the winning score? Because I remember the Masters was pretty close.
Yeah, it was
It was
right
like 10 and a
on.
half, and I think 14 won it, John Rahm. But anyways, something I want to touch on before we get into maybe picks. So, Liv, they're playing in it. Obviously, they handled the Masters really well.
Which real quick, before you're going down this route, for anyone that doesn't know or doesn't remember, Korey here had made a bet
Yep.
that he would shave his head
Yep.
if any
back-
of the
we're
live
back in it.
guys were
And
to
Koepka
win
almost did
any
it.
of the majors. So now
Oh.
that y'all have that information,
I had to pay Chad $100 because Phil Mickelson made the cut.
and
Not
then
only did he
almost-
make the cut, he finished top
Yeah.
5.
So I've got winning score over 271.5 as being minus 155.
So 271.
What is that?
Is it a par?
It's par 70.
It's par 70.
Yeah. So 70 times 4. It's 280. So 9 under. And the over is the favorite.
Dude, I might take the under. I don't know. Like I think like a 7 or an 8 could do it.
Honestly.
I don't know.
Which
'Cause
I
I
didn't
don't-
mean to cut you off. Go back to what you were saying. I just wanted to set up for viewers.
I was just basically, I mean, I'm kind of reiterating. So the Live, they obviously have proven that they can play in the majors.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I have a problem with this tournament and this tournament alone.
Because it's the PGA.
It's the PGA Championship. I'm not allowing them to play in my Super Bowl. I'm not saying they can't compete because I can't really, I don't have any backing on that anymore because obviously Brooks Koepka, Phil Mickelson, Patrick Reed, all those guys told me to go stick a sock in it. But you've foregone your right to play in this championship. It's the PGA Championship, the PGA Championship. Those guys don't get to play in it, and that's how I would feel. U.S. Open, that's their deal. Augusta Masters, that's their deal. British Open, that's their deal.
PGA Championship. It's in the
That's
name.
our deal.
It's in the name.
That's our thing. You're not playing in it. That's how I feel.
It just doesn't make sense. I'm gonna read a little bit. So, at where is this? Oak Hill. Sorry, I want to say Oak Hollow, but that's in McKinney. The thing about this is it's a lengthy par 70, and what they're saying about it is that it's U.S. Open light, meaning that it's going to be very, very, very thick rough.
For golf casuals out there, the U.S. Open prides itself on being damn near unplayable.
Yeah.
Like I've seen, like doesn't 2 or 3 under win it sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like par is a great score.
Right.
So there's not going to be a lot of birdie opportunities. You're going to see a lot of guys having to scramble for par bogey. This is the thing. There's elevation changes, narrow fairways, real bad rough, and small raised greens.
It's also cold.
Yeah.
Because it's in Rochester, New York. I
Just
think,
snowed 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, they said it snowed recently. I saw today, like in the practice round, everyone was like bundled up. So
Yeah.
that changed. I mean, playing golf in the cold is obviously harder. So
yeah.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough playing. I'm excited to watch. Tyler, give us the top couple favorites in this one.
Yeah, so there are 3 that, for anyone that doesn't, I mean, obviously, I don't have to tell y'all how betting works. And again, when you're doing an outright betting, especially this early in the week with such a big field, the best score or the favorites are going to be a plus 700.
Yeah.
There's only 2 or 3 that are even under 1,000. Scotty Scheffler, plus 700 is the favorite, with John Rahm right behind him at a plus 750, and Rory not far behind at plus 1,000. Those are
Okay.
like the big 3. You also have Schauffele at plus 1,200, Cantlay at plus 15.
Is Brooks Koepka the
Brooks-
highest live?
Hey, it's
Brooks
gotta be.
Koepka is a plus 1,800, which isn't
So that's
that
6th or
far
7th,
off. Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. And then a lot of 3,000s.
I think that the easy thing to do is pick John Rahm. I don't agree with him not being the favorite over Scheffler. I think Scheffler is playing good right now. Obviously, he played very well with Byron Nelson, came up short, but played well. But
It's the
John
best case scenario
Rahm,
for him.
won the Masters
yeah,
convincingly.
He played really good at the was it the Mexican Open or something like that?
This has been his year, and I think that he deserves to be the favorite in this one. That is not me saying he's going to win because I don't believe he will. Before I give my pick, I'm not going to yet. I am going to say that though I'm a Rory loyalist, I will not be picking Rory in this one. I do, however, I don't know what. I know there's odds on this. I know you can bet on it. I will bet that Rory finishes top 10.
Nice.
I think he contends at least. I think he plays better.
Yeah, he shows up.
Because I think it could set up to where Rory's going to win. Rory's going to win the British Open.
Rory top 10 finish would be
You
a
think
plus
so?
115.
Wow.
Ooh, that's not great. I mean, that's like
It's the
I wish
fifth-
it was more.
It's the 5th best odds.
I
Yeah,
wish it
so
was more, but
Yeah.
But I will say that Rory finishes top 10 in this one, but that's obviously not my pick.
I've got 2 kind of sleeperish things for you.
Okay.
One I kind of like. The one I kind of like. Tony Finau is like a plus 2,200.
Yep.
And he has really good odds to be a top 10 finish. But give me Max Homa at a plus 4,500.
The people's champ.
He's
Yeah.
6th in the world right now.
The funnest guy on tour.
The one thing he needs is to win a big major like
Yep.
this. And if you're looking just for a value play or something, plus 4,500 for a guy like Max Homa, I like that.
Absolutely.
I'll say this: if I was picking a favorite, I would say give me John Rahm just because I trust his
Like
game.
if you have to pick one of the top dogs.
Yeah. Not saying who
Yeah.
I think is my favorite. I honestly don't think Rory's in the top 10.
Okay.
But, I mean, we talked about that.
Listen, I have no backing on that. He has played as bad as I've seen him play thus far in this season. But he didn't just forget how.
Yeah, no.
He's one of these days he's going to come through and win a tournament.
And it's so hard because you want to root for him. He was the glue that kept everybody together last year.
Yeah.
He's kind of the poster boy for golf right now with Tiger dealing with all the stuff that he's dealing with. But my honest to God pick.
This is it. This is your pick.
This is my pick.
All right.
Is Cameron Young.
Cameron Young. Okay.
Yes, he's long
Obviously,
off. He's long off the tee. He's very accurate, and he's very, very, very creative.
Okay.
And so I think
Obviously, young player. He won Rookie of the Year recently,
Yeah.
I believe.
His last
hasn't won a major.
Yeah, his last 4 starts in a major, 3 of those were top 10 finishes.
Cameron Young
that's a good
plus
stat.
3,000.
Yeah, he's 30
Okay.
to 1.
Okay.
So
Tyler.
I will not be putting
I'm
anything
going with
on
Max
that.
Homa. Give me the Max Homa
That's
play.
your pick?
Yeah, I like
Okay.
it. I like it.
So I am going to go and also, so we all are picking a first-time major winner. I am going to go the best player in golf that does not have a major, and that is Patrick Cantlay. I
Really?
think Patrick Cantlay has the Tiger Woods caddy this week.
I didn't think about that.
First big tournament with that. I think that the stars are starting to align for him. He's played some good golf this year. Obviously, he kind of had the drama with the playing slow in the Masters deal. He doesn't give a shit about that. I don't think that other players give a shit about that.
No.
I think
I
that
don't
it
either.
bothered John Rahm and Brooks Koepka. But, I think those guys are kind of cocky and they just were looking for a reason to,
Yeah.
hey, this is about us.
I think Brooks
about
was
that.
I think Brooks was more looking for a reason to justify
Yeah.
why he didn't show up.
So give me Patrick Cantlay. I think that all 3 of those guys are fun picks to root for this
Yeah.
week. You gotta like when a guy. I think that the young up and coming guys, that's a fun thing to root for a major. Because if John Rahm wins it, our conversation is going to be, well, badass that he's now won 2 majors. Or if Scotty wins it, well, really cool, good for Scotty.
Yeah.
But damn,
Yeah, it's always nice when somebody new wins it.
yeah.
I just want to say, as the resident live guy, I do think I need to talk about a couple live guys real quick. Before I do, I want to ask: is there any chance? My answer would be no. But is there any chance? And if so, how much does the narrative change? What does the discourse become if Phil can have another wild weekend like he
yeah.
had at the
I'd
Masters?
bet again that Phil doesn't. I'd bet another 100
Would
that
you?
Phil doesn't make the cut. I think that
He knows Augusta too well.
I
or-
probably bit off more than I could chew with the Masters. The cut line is different. I didn't understand that as well, and I'm not. That's no excuse because Phil finished top 5, so it doesn't matter. But this is a full field. This is a 70-man cut. It ain't happening, dude. It's
Phil
not
to
happening.
make the cut this weekend. Oh, is he not? He might not be on the one I'm looking on.
It's not. It's. I don't know. It's not.
Anyway,
happening,
I just feel like if there were, and I'm biased here, he's my favorite golfer of all time, but I think if there were one of the live guys to take a huge step this weekend, I think it's DJ. I think DJ was not very good at the Masters. I think this is a chance for him to kind of have some redemption. I think, yeah, give me a DJ.
minus 180 to miss the cut. Phil
To miss the
Mickelson.
cut.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, so yeah,
he's
that's
big,
not happening.
Big favorite to miss the cut.
Fair
Wow.
enough.
Yeah.
Fair
If
enough.
if I had to pick a live guy, I'd think it'd be Cam Smith.
Oh, okay. So I will say
The rat brother.
I think that a lot of people will put a lot of money on Brooks Koepka, and that won't happen.
No.
Because he made his run at the Masters, and,
Yeah.
and if that didn't happen, it's not gonna happen. I think Cam Smith, if you had to bet on a live guy, I think that's
Cam
a great.
Smith,
I
yeah.
think that's a great pick.
He won the Open last year.
It's a great
and,
pick.
This is an Open like major.
So, did y'all hear the interview on Pardon My Take with Brooks Koepka? And he flat out said,
yes,
that these live tournaments, I play them for reps, and all I care about is majors.
yeah, he's very open and honest about he does not give.
Not a good look though for live if
Oh,
your
no.
top dog is saying,
If
"Hey,
you're-
I'm doing this for reps." You know,
Well, did you see the course they were playing on? They were playing on in Tulsa. Looked like a muni. I mean, it was bad.
it's the $80
It was not good.
cart fee beauty
Yeah.
combo.
It was rough. Dude.
Chloe, your face says you have opinions.
She
Dude,
said she wanted to
Koepka-
talk golf.
Kepka just gets under my skin. Like, I don't know what it
Koepka
is.
hater.
Oh.
I just can't.
I think
Is it because
Koepka's.
he's beefy?
You seem to feel
No,
that
it's
way.
It's his personality.
I think
Yeah, he is
Koepka's one
kinda
of those
tool.
guys that he is either like dude, I am so ready to go play some golf and drink some broskies with Brooks Koepka, or this guy sucks.
I think he's like the Gronkowski of
I could see
golf.
Gronkowski getting on people's nerves.
Who are
Yeah.
some of the guys you like? Not necessarily like to win this weekend or anything. Just like who do you like?
Who are your
as,
favorites?
as golf goes?
I like. Okay, hear me out.
Okay.
He hasn't been doing well lately, but he's working on it.
He's practicing.
We're all working on it.
Hey.
He's working.
Everyone
on
wants to get better at golf, Chloe.
it. I know.
Me included.
I like
Feel
Justin
that.
Thomas.
Oh, dude,
Okay.
Justin Thomas. Hey, I'll say this about Justin Thomas:
Mentally,
reigning PGA champ.
Yes.
he won at Southern Hills when I was there.
Yep.
came back.
He won in a playoff. Won a
Yes.
3-hole playoff.
Huge. You had
I
Mito
like
Pereira.
the Justin Thomas.
Thank you.
He's one that no matter what you got to root for that guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Seems like such a good dude.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Same with Scheffler.
Yeah.
Just
Oh
this
yeah. I mean,
most
that's the
down-to-earth
most
person.
likable dude ever.
100%.
Justin Thomas. I like that pick.
Thank you. I've seen he's been struggling with like his swing, like with his hips.
Yeah.
And he's also like his putting has been off. But
And
I've
his short
seen-
game is really
yes.
kind of what his strength is.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
and so
yeah.
he's been working on it. So I have some.
Do we
high
have
hopes for him.
any thoughts about Jordan Spieth this week?
I was just
Dude,
about to say that.
his wrist.
Yeah, he may not play. He's still got that wrist injury.
He's been. He's been.
Because this is it. This
he's
is
been
the
seen
last.
playing golf.
Oh, interesting.
This is the last major that he
That he
hasn't
needs,
won, right? Yeah.
And
really?
back to the Justin Thomas thing, I think mentally strong, Justin Thomas is one of the toughest
No, he's
dudes
there.
on the tour, mainly because him and Spieth were such good friends, and Spieth, took off
That
when
was
he first
kinda,
got in.
That was the first episode on the Full Swing
Yes.
documentary.
It was
kind of
him
their
winning that-
relationship. Yeah.
And so I think definitely he's had to battle back between that competition with his buddy,
Yeah.
and dealing with that winning and then having to come into his own right.
Chloe, is that
as
your
a tour
pick? Like,
as
if
a
you
tour
had to
player.
pick right now, is that who you'd pick?
It's between him and honestly, I have a really good feeling about Colin Morikawa.
Okay.
I
Okay.
like
Korey
Morikawa,
was the
and I
one
don't
that-
know why,
too.
but I like him.
I just
he's
have
a great
weird-
iron
He's
player.
likable. I was
He's
going
a
to say,
great
Korey,
iron player.
Korey talked about how at this course you're going to have to be able to be
Oh, yeah.
be very precise with your irons, and Morikawa is as best as there is in the world.
And then another thing is Victor Hovland too. He's got a great
Oh,
short game
100%.
when he's on. There's sometimes he kind of loses it, but he's one that can go on a par stretch.
Morikawa
You know what I mean?
is a plus 3,000. I kind of like that as a value. That's fun.
Golf. If you just ride with a guy, like you just, hey, I'm going with him, you can make
Yeah.
a lot of money in golf.
He was one of those guys that during the Masters, you can watch it online and you can follow different groups and stuff. And I found myself going to him a lot. He was
Yes.
fun to watch.
He's
Yeah.
really
He did a
good.
cool thing. The Golf Channel did a thing with him going back to his home course, and there was these old guys that played every morning that he'd jump in with them
That's
when he was
cool.
a kid.
Very cool.
And so he went back and kind of played around with them, and it was a cool thing.
Very cool.
So
Any final thoughts
is
before
that-
we get
is that
out of here?
enough
I am
golf?
curious. What's so the way you were able to watch the Masters online? Is there anything similar to that with the PGA Championship?
I think
or
all the
no?
majors have something similar
Do they?
like that.
Yeah, maybe not as aggressive as the
No, the Masters
'cause-
app stands alone.
Yeah, I know ESPN Plus will kind of be how you watch the early rounds, Thursday, Friday stuff.
Yeah, apparently ESPN Plus. Yeah,
Yeah.
Thursday,
Yeah.
Friday.
They kind of bought
Saturday.
the rights to basically all of golf.
Yeah.
And so if you don't have ESPN Plus by now, I feel like you're not as big of a sports fan because there's a lot of stuff on ESPN Plus now.
Yeah, fair
yeah,
enough.
if my mom didn't have a subscription, I'd be paying for it.
I
I'll be
don't,
real
but-
honest.
Anyway,
That's surprising for a degenerate like you because ESPN Plus is the king of we don't have
He's
the
got Sports
biggest
Surge.
game. We don't have the biggest
Sports
game,
Surge,
but we
baby.
have everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you know
that's
what I
true.
mean?
You can find some, NPB and some KBO on there and really get after it on the old
Yeah.
ESPN Plus.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, real quick before we move to the movie bracket, I've got to say, one of the Texas Rangers, still amazing. Adolis Garcia leads the
Yeah.
league in RBI. The Rangers have the second best run differential in the league. They're 10 games over 500. Again, without Corey Seager, who's back tonight, without Mitch Garver, without Jacob deGrom. Every week we ask, when are the Rangers for real? When can we say it? When can we say it? Now.
Top of the fifth.
Now
for
we
real.
can say it.
Top
Yeah,
of
I've
the
been
fifth.
keeping it up.
Rangers are up 3-2.
That's how
Uh,
much of a fan that I've become.
Yeah.
I love it.
Literally, I've got it on my computer.
Yeah.
I'm keeping up with the
Yeah.
game.
I love it.
And I have with most of their games. I'm a fan.
I do have one joke I want to make at the Oakland A's expense.
Bless their heart.
Monday night's game, and the A's have been known forever as the team that just no one comes to watch. They're literally moving because of it. But Monday night's A's game in Oakland had the smallest crowd since 1979. On Monday night, They drew an announced crowd of 2,064 people. Their AAA, AA, and single A teams all average more than that game. 2,000 people. 2,000 people. More than that. More than the amount of people that went to that A's game watch you and I call football every Friday night.
Yeah, that's true.
By a good bit.
Yeah,
That's insane.
More people are tuning in to watch Sulphur Springs Wildcat football on
that makes me feel
Chad's Media right here on YouTube.
I don't know if that makes me feel really good or really sad for the Oakland A's.
It is very
that should be
sad.
a selling point
the
for our
future
broadcast
Vegas
sponsors.
A's.
What is kind of funny though is I've seen so many fans, and like this happens anytime a team is getting ready to move, but so many fans have come out and been like, "Dude, y'all don't understand. I mean, we're such
This
a
is
passionate.
your fault.
Yeah.
We're such a passionate fan base. Like,
your
No, you're
fault.
not.
I don't think y'all are.
Yeah, we're not moving away because we're making a bunch of money.
Now it is the organization's fault that they've treated their organization the way they have, and this is a segue because we're about to talk about Moneyball. But
Ooh.
yeah, they've spent their whole life being owned by very cheap people that just didn't have the money and are like, look, I'm not giving you the money to accomplish what you want. Billy Beane, you better get creative. And he's done his best. He's put together multiple really good teams, but it's this never-ending cycle of as soon as my guys have any value, it is now time to pay them. I can't afford to pay them. I've got to trade them for prospects and hope that one day those prospects are as good as he currently is.
Yeah.
And that's how we got to where we are now. Anyway, movie bracket time.
Also, Adolis did hit a home run tonight.
Did he really?
Yes.
Hell yeah. That
I
man's-
thought
that
that's
guy-
what you were saying when you said he led the.
that guy's great.
He got the scoring started. It was 2-0 into the fourth, I believe.
back-to-back days with El Bombi Bombs. Hell yeah.
All
Love
right,
to see it.
movie bracket time. Remember last week we had Hoosiers. They beat who's the 1 seed in that one because Hoosiers was the 2 seed. I believe the 1 seed
It was Remember the Titans,
Yes.
right?
Here, I'll
no,
look.
surely
I'll look.
not. Surely not.
We got it somewhere.
We do have it. I feel like
Luckily, we're not live. We can go back and.
Yeah, just edit this out. We knew the whole time.
I want Chloe. I know we're doing it just the three of us. Actually, I kind of want. If you've seen the movies, I want your
Hoosiers-
opinion on them.
Hoosiers beat out Field of
I haven't.
Dreams.
The only
Oh,
one
it's
I've
Field of
seen that
Dreams.
y'all have done is The Sandlot.
It was Sandlot.
Oh,
It
did it
was-
come down to
It
Sandlot?
was Sandlot versus Invincible. Hoosiers versus Field of Dreams.
Sandlot was number 1, and it was
Yes.
Sandlot and
Invincible.
I wanted to give it to
but
Sandlot.
it was Sandlot and
yeah.
Hoosiers was the
Fun story about Sandlot. When me and my brother were little, I was like 9, and so he was probably like 7. We weren't allowed to watch that movie because it would say too many mean words. But it like never said like actual cuss words. It would
But it
just be
said
like,
mean words.
"You're a dumb person," like just things like that.
you play
And
ball like a girl.
Oh my
literally
gosh.
stuff like that. And so my
Your
dad was
sister's
like,
in the outfield, naked.
Y'all couldn't watch the
No,
Chad.
like we watched it one time the whole way through, and Dad was like, "Oh, y'all can't see this again."
This filth.
So me
This-
and Sam were
this
just
smut.
so,
Yeah.
we were so obsessed with this movie that we would hide in my closet with the TV in
Watching
there
the Sandlot.
and watch. And he caught us one time, took the disc out, and stepped on like
Oh, Chad.
Dude, that's
so upsetting.
that's
Oh my
amazing.
gosh.
The way I would like sneak around or stay up real late to watch like horror movies that I wasn't supposed to be watching. You had to
watching
do it with the
Sandlot.
Sandlot.
Man.
That's
I haven't
hilarious.
seen it since.
That's
Oh
that's
my
amazing.
God.
Sad. Now it's a traumatic. That's
I'm
a
gonna ask
traumatic
him. I'm gonna
memory.
ask him
Amazing.
about that
Let
tomorrow.
Chloe watch it.
Yeah.
All right,
All right.
what we got here?
Region 2 of the Down and Out sports movie bracket.
It's
And
a big
reminder, we put a gross amount of thought into this
Yes.
bracket.
Tell the people. Tell them.
ridiculous amount
like
of thought.
crazy amount. I mean, we've had a committee, we've voted, we've seeded these teams, we had play-ins. It was a lot.
When
but,
Ryan gets it that he's going to do something and he takes it serious, he does it.
It's full
he
on.
does. He fully does it,
Yeah.
and you killed it with
we
that.
do it well.
You killed it with that. So obviously, Korey and I are going to get out of the way and let you
Introduce it, lady.
Yes,
tell us about
so
Region 2.
Region 2, headlined by the number 1 seed, number 3 seed overall in this bracket. We've got Friday Night Lights. Don't be mistaken by the TV show. This is the movie with Booby Miles. It's based off of
Odessa Permian.
Odessa Permian. Yep, is that right? Or is that
Yeah,
okay?
that's it.
Yeah. Odessa Permian. Sorry. Great movie. They're going to go up against. This was a big controversy that we had in this group. We had to decide if this was a sports movie or not. But because it's one of the highest critically acclaimed sports movies of all time, The 4 seed going up against Friday Night Lights, Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah,
with a star-studded cast.
Real quick, before we start breaking down, I want to get everyone's opinion. Friday Night Lights versus Friday Night Lights. Where do y'all stand on that?
Like the TV versus
the show versus the movie.
I'm always about the movie.
Ooh, that's funny because I'm 1,000% on the side of the TV show.
Really?
Oh,
Chloe, have you seen the show Friday Night Lights?
I tried it.
Couldn't get into it, really.
Okay.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the show. Now, in hindsight, now that I'm older, I don't know if I would love it as much, but watching it, especially when I was younger and stuff, I was a big fan.
I've recently watched it in the last maybe 18 months or so. I've rewatched it all the way through. It is the epitome of high school football, like Texas high school football, small town. It's a lot like Sulphur Springs. That part is awesome. The football itself is terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. There are so many discrepancies in the football itself.
They won. Michael B. Jordan was
Vince.
Yeah, before he
won the state championship.
Before he was Creed.
Yeah.
That man was on Friday Night Lights, and I do have to say this: we all know I have preferences when it comes to women, but Coach Taylor's wife, man, she had a big crush on Coach Taylor's wife back in the day.
Really?
I'm a big fan of the show. I will say the movie makes me tear up. Like, I'll tear up at the movie.
Oh, it's sad, and I think it's really cool if they don't win.
Yes.
I think it's cooler that they don't win it. They lose to Dallas Carter.
Connie Britton.
Okay,
that's who played Coach Taylor's
there
wife.
You go.
Anyway,
so Friday Night Lights, number 1 seed versus number 4 seed, Ford versus Ferrari. Korey, I'm going to let you start it off here.
Are we just doing the Friday Night Lights Ford versus Ferrari right now?
Yeah.
Real quick, sorry before you do. We were doing this last week, so I would like to keep the tradition going. I want to give the scores. I want to give.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Not everyone cares about Rotten Tomatoes. I know that, but the number 1 seed, Friday Night Lights, is an 82% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's pretty high.
With the 85 audience, both of which
Ford
are high. Ford versus Ferrari, though, a 92 with a 98% audience. Again, this was a critically acclaimed.
One real awards, which sports movies do not. I think that's kind of how they got into this bracket. Your interpretation of this is a sport or not, Chloe? Is this a sport or not?
Yeah,
that's
your
Ferrari,
expertise.
A sports movie.
I've never seen it.
Okay,
so
okay. Is
racing
race car driving
like
a
NASCAR
sport?
And stuff?
Not necessarily NASCAR, but like kind of F1-ish.
Yeah.
She doesn't know.
It was nominated for Best Picture.
Wow.
By the way.
I don't. If there's not any physical, like
Ford versus Ferrari, not a sports movie, according to Chloe.
Which, dude, if it weren't,
you heard it here first.
You heard it here first, but it made the bracket, so we're voting on it.
If it weren't for Parasite, it would have won Best Picture. Really? That's wild. Anyway, so Korey is up first. 1 seed, Friday Night Lights versus 4 seed, Ford versus Ferrari.
I've thought about this a lot. I'm gonna skip all of the talking. I'm gonna just go Friday Night Lights.
Okay. Tyler, I want to be the decider.
Oh,
in this one.
Yeah, y'all made me do it. Y'all made me do it all the time.
I'll do it this week. This week will be me. Next week will be Korey.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer Friday Night Lights for me.
Okay, then it doesn't matter. I was very torn. I did not like advancing Ford versus Ferrari to the second round of this sports movie bracket. However, it's a better movie.
Yeah.
So I'm going to vote Ford versus Ferrari, but it doesn't matter. Friday Night Lights gets win.
There we go.
Perfect.
Boom. Friday Night Lights on. Next up, we have Moneyball versus We Are Marshall.
Very good. Very good movies.
Very
both
good.
of them.
For anyone that was wondering, the Rotten Tomatoes on that Moneyball, 94% with an 86
that's high.
audience.
That's real high.
We Are Marshall, 49%, but a 79% audience score.
I was one that
That's criminally low.
Yeah, I elected We Are Marshall into this bracket. But God, it's hard to beat Moneyball, man. I'm gonna go Moneyball.
By the way, Moneyball also very much critically acclaimed. It was nominated both for Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Best Adapted Screenplay, and then Best Sound Mixing and Best Film Editing.
Go Brad Pitt, huh?
Yes. One, I'm very biased. We don't get a ton of great baseball movies.
Right.
I mean, we've had, it's been a while anyway. You had a bunch of good ones in like the 80s, 90s, but it had been a really long time since we got a good sports movie. And I actually read the book Moneyball, and I'm a big fan of it as well. But I don't love sports movies, and you think I would because I love sports. I'm a huge movie nerd. Moneyball is one of my favorite movies of all time. I remember my senior year of high school because it came out in 2012. So the next year was my senior year of high school, and I would watch it every night before we had a game. I love Moneyball. Yeah, Moneyball.
Yeah, so
It's like your hype up.
I
Like you're watching it on the bus driving over to the game.
Well, it wasn't a hype up
I'll
movie.
talk
I know,
about
I'm just
both
saying.
movies, even though my vote doesn't matter. Moneyball is a cool movie because it is a baseball movie. It is a sports movie, but it's really not about
When it goes
playing
deeper into like the
itself,
front office and stuff
the
like
front
that.
office aspect. The Jonah Hill, Brad Pitt part is a lot of fun to me. I think it's cool to see it on that side of things. So cool story there. We aren't Marshall. First off, Matthew McConaughey. My
All right,
boy.
all right.
All right. Longview, Texas, Hook 'em Horns. Great movie. Even better story. Tragic. Probably one of the more tragic events in sports history.
Yeah.
If you don't know, the entire Marshall football team coming home from a game crashed in a aircraft accident, killing everyone on board. And so they had to do away with the football program. A couple years later, they bring it back. Obviously, huge deal. They go on and actually have a pretty decent season early on. So I had a buddy, a teammate actually on the national championship team that transferred from Marshall. And the stories that he would tell, some of the anniversary type deals that they would do for the Marshall student athletes and coaches and whoever else
He's still
involved.
very much alive.
Oh, absolutely. The stuff that they do with that is very cool. I think that's, you need that backstory to understand how powerful that movie is. But I am going to go Moneyball because it's a great movie. And so Moneyball versus Friday Night Lights in the regional finals. It's close.
Yeah.
It's close. I'm going to start here.
Okay.
I'm going to start here. We're going to go back that way. I don't know. I think Friday Night Lights is great. I think it's an awesome story. I think it's cool that they lose in the end because, I've been there. Unless you win the championship of your deal, everyone that retires from a sport loses their last game ever. I was lucky enough to win a national championship, but in my last game ever, we lost in the playoffs, and that sucked. And I think about it often. I think about my last high school game often because that sucks. And I think high school football is just something. Football itself is, you can always go out and throw the ball around. Baseball, pitch and hit, play slow pitch softball leagues. You can always do that. You can always shoot in your yard or in your driveway playing basketball. You can never replicate playing a organized football game again.
Yeah,
Realistically, you're not
absolutely.
going to be able to replicate that. So the power in losing your last game as a senior, it sucks. It sucks.
To your point, it's been a whole decade for me, and both my last high school game and beyond, I remember each of those vividly.
Yep. Oh, I think about it often. As sad as that is, I do. But I am going to go Moneyball here. I think it's a great story. I think it's a cool sports movie. And so I am going to put Moneyball into the Final Four.
I think, man, this is tough, dude.
It's a close one.
I thought a lot about so when I go into these, I think about the first round matchups. And then after that, I'm just like, I want to go with my gut afterwards. And
the Hankins blood telling
man,
Yeah.
when that one dude gets the helmet kicked in his face and the blood spilling out and the speech at halftime, I just can't not go with Friday Night Lights in this situation.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. He does a great job. To me, the radio, because I'm just thinking from a film standpoint, the radio overlay while he's driving through, and they're just, going at this guy for his job, and having coaches in my family who have gone through similar stuff is like, in small towns when you're not performing well and you're still having to go to the grocery store and see these guys. I just think there's a lot of realistic things in that movie.
It's a great depiction of what Texas high school football is like.
Exactly. But on the other hand, there's not a lot of films about the front office. And even though I love Moneyball to death, I got to go with Friday Night Lights.
Okay, it's up to Tyler. The first the first non-decided in the first two pick of the night.
By the way, Bombi just hit his second bomb.
Oh,
the night.
really?
That boy is
Wow.
on one.
Wow.
To your
Holy
point,
cow.
Friday Night Lights is a great movie. I've seen it multiple times. I will watch it multiple more times. Again, and maybe I'm biased towards Moneyball because, again, ever since I was a little kid, even though it was always my dream to play college baseball and play as far as I could, from the time I can remember, being a little kid getting a video game and immediately like, I want to be the GM of this team, and taking it very seriously. Back before you could update rosters, me and my cousin would take the time to create the players, to create the actual roster.
It just seems very up your alley.
Finally,
this movie seems like
finally
something.
seeing a real depiction of the front office and everything. It's Moneyball for me.
Yeah, I've no
Could have guessed that.
surprises that you picked that. But so that means that 2 of our final 4 spots have been filled. We've got Hoosiers. They won't actually play against Moneyball. That's on the other side. But we've got 2 more regions that we'll get to at later episode dates. But it's a fun bracket.
I'm loving it. I wish it could go on forever. Like I'm having a lot of
Just
fun.
keeps on going.
It's fun though that we're spacing it out though.
Yeah. And we need to figure out what we want to do after that. I want to keep things like this rolling
have like
from
a
time
little
to
like a
time.
bracket.
Yeah.
Do the
Ballpark food bracket for the summer.
or just ballparks. Just
that's
do the
true.
16 best ballparks.
Real quick before we get out of here, do y'all think
No reason,
you
it's
could
Fenway.
do?
Ooh.
Do y'all think y'all could do the 9 beer, 9 hot dog, 9 inning challenge? Because before y'all start talking about it, I think both of y'all are more suited for this than I am. I could not do it. One, that's going to cost a ton.
Are the rules just in
You have
any way
9
I want?
Yeah, you have 9
You
innings
just have 9 innings
to consume.
9 hot dogs and 9 beers.
I'm not a huge beer drinker, and so 9 beers itself would be a challenge for me.
Yeah, that's a 6-pack and a half. Like
With the ounces and all that. Oh, sorry.
and that's going to cost
Yeah.
you $100 at the game.
So 9 beers, 9 hot dogs. I fully think I could do one of them easily. Like
by itself.
either say, okay, I'm going to drink 9 beers, or I'm going to drink 9 hot dogs. Putting that together is
dangerous.
Is a challenge.
Now, I was telling Korey earlier, I know everyone's got their own strategy. Every time I see it on TikTok, someone's got a different strategy. For me, I think the move is to immediately down 4 or 5 beers. One, you're going to get hungrier as you get drunk.
That's really funny.
And I think you have now the rest of the game to casually be drinking a beer and eating a hot dog at all times. I still don't think I'd get anywhere close. But
I think I'd go 3 hot dogs to start because that's just like a snack, you know.
A little snackety snack.
Yeah, and then so I'd go in with an empty stomach, of course.
Right.
Down 3 hot dogs and then go 3 beers.
Yeah.
Mainly because without anything in your stomach to start, you're gonna get
Your
hammered.
tummy's gonna hurt too.
I think that's going to help you, though. I think you
that's
need
true.
to use the
So,
drunkenness.
I think here's the deal, Tyler. I don't need any excuse to eat food. But
Don't put this in the live or whenever you upload this. You just take a beer funnel and just pour like 5 beers in there.
Yeah, but
That's
can you
true.
take that into a game with you?
They probably got 'em for sale out
yeah,
there.
they're in the pro shop.
You're making points.
Or just
Chloe, have you thought about this before?
No.
Look, I'm with Korey. I'm getting there and eating like 3 to 5 hot dogs right off the grip.
Because I think I could slam some hot dogs.
Yeah, no, I could too. And I don't put anything on mine. Mine's like just meat and
Really?
bread only. I just bloop, bloop,
Raw
bloop.
dog.
So
No. Yeah,
So-
go ahead and X that one out. No.
my thought process was, because like you said, I'm not a huge beer drinker, and like I'm the kind of I hate this about myself, but I'm the guy that's like, I like a good like Oktoberfest or like a dark beer or something. But
Tyler's like, get me a Yingling.
Y'all got
Yes.
any of them IPAs?
the most popular beer
Most
in
popular
Texas.
beer in Texas.
But I think the problem for
Maybe
me would
now.
be if it got sketchy towards the end. I don't think I could pound 4 beers real quick, but I do think I could scarf down 4 hot dogs at the last second.
So eat the 4 hot dogs right when you get there. Start drinking some beer. Then I'm gonna be okay. I'm a little drunk, hungry, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And if it gets to the nitty gritty, it's 8th inning. Like you said, I don't think I can down 4 beers.
Not happening.
But do I need to eat 4 hot dogs really quick? Let's do
I
this
think
thing.
for me, first inning, I'm going hot dog a batter. It's
I'm
3
gonna be
bites.
honest. I'm gonna be honest, and I
Getting
don't.
6 hot dogs in the first inning.
I could
I
hammer
don't
it.
mean this. I don't mean this
Say
disrespectfully
it with
at
your chest.
all. But I think 9 and 9 is way too low of a bar for Korey.
It's the beer that would get me because I don't drink a lot.
I think Korey could go 12 and 12.
We need to make that a
No,
a draw.
Corey
I
can go
think-
12 and 12.
I
9
think-
and 9 is foolish.
I think I could do it. I think the
Child's play.
beer would give me a
Foolish.
little bit, but I still think
I think we could just go by
I could
weight here. We'll go Tyler crisp 6 and 6.
Yeah.
Ryan can handle a 9
9
and 9.
I'll take the 12
Corey
and 12.
15 and 15.
What are Chloe's
Going for a
thoughts?
double double.
As As far as what?
on how you think we would do.
Well,
Oh,
I think
man.
you just got to think about this a little better. I mean, you have 9 innings.
Yeah, but with the
So-
pitch clock, that's like 30
Yeah,
minutes.
You're right.
I mean, now you
Chloe.
get like
I'm running a sprint in my head.
Dude,
This is a
just-
long game.
that's
You
about
just-
2.5 hours.
Not with the
You
pitch
just
clock.
drink 2 beers each inning,
Yeah, that's true.
and you got that.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, yeah, then you're done by like
I
the
feel
fifth
like I
inning.
could do it, honestly. I really do.
Hot dogs won't be hard.
Me and my brother-in-law one time went out and played 9 holes. Okay, we had to drink 18 White Claws as a group,
Heck
and we
yeah.
had to shoot a certain score, and we did it, and it was
Glorious.
miserable. But we did do
sounds
it.
miserable.
But it was miserable.
I call that the broke man's Augusta.
Yeah,
right there.
right. Well, if you can't see Augusta with your own eyes,
Just
maybe
make
you
you
can
get-
just
yeah.
visualize it.
It looks like Amen Corner right here. I say I have one thing.
Chloe, do you have any final thoughts?
I don't think so. I think this was a really good stream, other than all the.
That it
the
stopped.
Other than it wasn't a stream.
Yes. So for those of you that are joining us after the fact, we're sorry for the live episode malfunction.
Debacle.
But we are going to post this Twitter, Instagram,
Yeah.
Facebook,
Yeah,
whatever.
wherever.
Yeah. The
Follow-
tube.
Follow us on all social media at Down and Out 903. Ryan, we will be back next week.
Next week,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next week we'll be talking. Obviously, we get to recap
we
the
get to talk
PGA
about
Championship.
Patrick Cantlay.
We'll get to
winning the
shave.
PGA Championship.
We'll get to shave Corey's head.
Whoa,
Um,
whoa, come on, no,
Yeah,
not doing none of that.
Stars will probably be up in the series already.
So
Rangers
Stars
will
play-
still be first.
Stars play Friday and Sunday.
I like the
and
way you said
Tuesday
Friday.
and Thursday. So we'll probably be up about
2-1.
3-0 by then.
Oh, nice. Let's go.
Yeah, 3-0.
Yeah.
Probably 2-1 actually.
Vegas will probably just stopped having a hockey team.
Yeah.
Did
by
you
then.
give your prediction on Stars in blank? Stars in 6? We're Stars in 6, I think.
I'd take Stars in 7, honestly.
Sweet. Love
Chloe,
it.
say something. Stars in what?
5.
Oh,
Stars
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks.
Let's
the
go.
The Golden Knights have not beat us this year.
It'd have been
So,
cooler if she said 3, but
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, sure, why not?
Stars at 5. Okay, next we will see y'all next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Same
7
time,
p.m.
same place. Go follow us on socials down and out 903. On behalf of Ryan Humphreys, Corey Hankins, and Chloe Copel, I'm Tyler Lennon. See y'all next time.
Wall to wall and I still ain't sold out.
Lady Cap 1-3-0.